thank you all for being here, and thank you so much to the Sea Scouts for putting this together. I mean, as a coastal community, the environment is a key issue for us, and having a way to keep water bottles out of our oceans and off our streets is a great idea. The Sea Scouts do so much for our community, keeping our boat ramps clean, and it really, the organization instills a lot of values that are important to all of us within these kids. So I'm just so thankful that everybody's here and that we are looking forward. We have Gloucester is an environmentally conscious city, and I think that this is just one small way to demonstrate that. Also, be a pal. We want to keep our city clean, and everything we can do to make it happen is a plus for us. We don't want to have the whales out there and the other sea animals ingesting this garbage, which never disintegrates. So, folks, do your part. Sea Scouts are doing their part. The pals are doing their part. We can all do a little bit and make Gloucester and our ocean a better and cleaner place. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for inviting me to be here.
Yay! I would like to introduce our Shellfish Constable, Peter Seminara. Mr. Seminara graduated from Waltham High School and then attended Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida, where he graduated with a Bachelor in Environmental Studies. He is currently the Assistant Harbor Master and Shellfish Constable for Gloucester.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good morning, Ship 5 and everybody. I'm Peter Seminara. I'm the Gloucester Shellfish Constable. I am responsible for managing all of the shellfish species that are under local control of Gloucester, as well as managing seaworms, alewives, river herring, and eels. My primary duties include ensuring that contaminated shellfish don't enter commerce, and to maintain a sustainable shellfish resource through the prevention of overharvest and enforcing size limits for shellfish, primarily soft-shell clams and surf clams in Gloucester. These are the law enforcement responsibilities of my position. I'm also responsible for protecting the shellfish resources within the city limits of Gloucester, which includes overseeing municipal propagation projects designed to increase the amount of shellfish in our waters, and the eradication of the highly invasive predator, the European green crab. We work closely with the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries to monitor water quality to ensure that shellfish are safe for harvest and consumption, and we investigate and prosecute pollution of our coastal waters. Through a Division of Marine Fisheries grant, we oversee 2 commercial fishermen who are also commercial shellfish harvesters who harvest European green crabs during the autumn months in order to eradicate several 100,000 of these crabs from our waters. So they take approximately 30 to 40,000 pounds in 2 months, which is about 3 to 400,000 pounds. 3 to 400,000 individual crabs. We also oversee the annual Little River herring count, where volunteers sign up to count alewives that are making passage from the ocean to the Lily Pond in West Gloucester. The counts used to determine the population of river herring in our waters. And it occurs from April 1st to May 30th. It's an entirely volunteer count. We use totally volunteer supported. We then maintain the herring run, clearing the debris so the adult herring can return to sea and then repeat the cycle. We also recently received a grant to place shellfish netting in the Annisquam River in order to increase the softshell clam population in certain areas that have been experiencing limited productivity, as well as we got a grant to fund a dumpster at the DPW for derelict commercial fishing gear to prevent its return to our coastal waters. We also assist the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Marine Mammal Stranding Team by responding to seals in distress or other marine mammals that are either stranded or in distress. So we work closely with several agencies, including the Division of Marine Fisheries and the Massachusetts Environmental Police, as well as the Gloucester Harbor Master, to protect our coastal resources and those that utilize them for recreation and to make their living. So thank you guys for having me. I appreciate everything you guys do. And good luck. Thank you.
Well, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Ann Malloy. Ann Malloy graduated Gloucester High in the class of 1982. She attended Green Mountain in Vermont. and the University of North Colorado majoring in art. Miss Malloy currently owns and operates Neptune's Harvest and Organic Fertilizer with her family here in Gloucester. They are able to utilize 100% of the leftover filleted fish from their parent company, Ocean Crest Seafoods, to make organic fertilizer. Don't worry, it's good.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here and having me. Appreciate the Sea Scouts, great organization, and a lot of people here doing great things. So yeah, we started as a seafood business, and we still are a seafood business, in 1965. And then in the 80s, when the D'Hide closed, they took all the fish scraps and they made pet food. So when you fillet a fish, there's only 30 to 40% of the fish that people eat. So 60 to 70% is waste. So when the D'Hide closed, we were forced to pay fishermen to take it back out to sea and dump it. So it was expensive. We had to pay them to take it out there. There was a lot of processing going on in the 80s, so that was a lot of waste. And it was creating a dead zone in the ocean where they dumped it, because as it decomposed, it would suck the oxygen out of the water. So it was wasteful, it was expensive, and it was really bad for the environment. So we got together with the University of Massachusetts Marine Station, and they helped us to develop a process where we can turn it into organic fertilizer. So instead of throwing it away now, we grind it up, we liquefy it, we stabilize it so it has an indefinite shelf life, and then we screen it so it doesn't clog sprayers. It comes out looking like chocolate milk. And it's not real stinky because fresh fish doesn't smell, so it's really not that bad. I have samples over there for anyone that wants to take one before you leave. It's 1 ounce per gallon of water, and it feeds the soil, it feeds the biological life, and it actually can help save the planet because it sequesters carbon. It builds the organic matter so deep, it draws nitrogen from the atmosphere, it sequesters carbon, it makes the soil drain so that you don't have flooding. It also retains moisture so you can use less water. And we sell it to farmers in big tanker trucks and everything all over the country. So instead of having them putting chemicals on, they can put Gloucester fish on their fields and literally sequester carbon and help the environment. So it just turned into this win-win-win-win for Gloucester and our company and the environment.
Yes.
So thanks for having me.
I would like to introduce Judy Rose of Peoples Against Litter, a cleaning initiative dedicated to a cleaner city and home port.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to stand out here because I need a little bit of light. I'm not great at speeches. I had somebody else prepared to do this, and that didn't happen. So here I am. Hello, and thank you for having me. I'm Judy Rose. Thank you, Sea Scouts, for the invite. So, as you may or may not know, Gloucester has a litter problem. My sisters and I wanted to do something about it. With the help of volunteers, we believe that we've actually taken a bite out of litter. 4 years ago, we started PAL, People Against Litter. We want to inspire our community through small acts, because small acts bring big changes, and every small act counts. With the generous support of my friend Ian and Neptune's Harvest and Awesome Gloucester, we were able to build a website, buy t-shirts, promotional products, and stuff to help us pick up trash, pick up sticks, and latex gloves to help our foundation get started. Our first small act was to reach out to the community through local events like the Fiesta, parades, local radio, TV, newspapers. We even have a small song, I Will Never Be a Litter Bug. And we wanted to reach out to everybody to let them know that if they sign up to clean up in front of their house, and everybody does that, our streets will be clean. They can do that with utilizing the yellow bags, which are free, available at the DPW. We've handed out over 2,500 bags personally. We have thousands of people in our community that have signed up to be a pal and clean up in front of their house. Our second small act was to combat litter bugs. we have painting parties where we make these signs and we put them up all over our community. Believe it or not, these signs impact tens of thousands of people because anybody who's using our streets see our signs. Our latest project from PAL is Put a Lid on It. We're encouraging covered receptacles for trash day. Purple bags being put out without receptacles is a real problem. There are animals that get into them. Snowplows drag the purple bags down the street. Our recycling containers are open containers. People overfill them. I've seen people put out paper bags full of recycling, boxes full of recycling. It just doesn't work because we have a lot of wind in our community. And every week, trash is being blown all over our community. So in the process of trying to attack that, we've come up with a pilot version of our program, Put a Lid on It, where we've encompassed a neighborhood that we live in from Beechburg Cemetery on Essex Avenue to the Fire Barn on Concord Street. It's 35 homes, and we're encouraging everybody to purchase a recycled trash and recycling bin, a rolling trash and recycling bin that's covered. We're gonna follow the trash the trash that's on the streets over the summer to see if it really makes an impact, and hopefully it will, and then that will encourage every neighborhood next to ours to continue and continue, so that hopefully our trash problem will be reduced. Let's see. Stop by our PAL table to pick up a yellow bag, to sign up to clean up if you haven't already done so. Please consider using covered recycling and covered trash cans at your house. And remember, small acts equal big changes, and every small act counts. Be a pal, and thank you.
Did you want to mention there's a cleanup?
Oh, and also, if you have a neighborhood that has a problem, you can call us. We will come and help you clean up any area that is a real problem for you. Our 5 sisters, and also your little group. Thanks again.
I'd like to introduce Dawn Pinkerton from NEMA, the National Marine Educators Association. He earned his master's in education at Salem State University. He is currently the director of education at Reagan Institute. Did I say that? Yep. In Cambridge.
Yes. Good job.
Thank you. Some may call me the dictator, I don't know. But, so Judy, were you ever a teacher?
No.
You have the best teacher voice, so that's the first qualification. I was a biology teacher at Revere High School for a long time, and I retired because COVID, and now I do education outreach work for the Reagan Institute, which is a immunology research institute in Cambridge. I'm currently the past president and treasurer of Massachusetts Marine Educators, which is a chapter of NMEA, National Marine Educators Association. And so I'm here in the capacity from NMEA, really to congratulate Ship 5 for their excellent work. And Judy is very correct in her saying it's small things. And the Japanese have a concept called kaizen, which means small improvements to make a big change over time. And I know you guys might think, Lynn was saying, maybe you think this isn't a big deal. It's a big deal, right? So you should be very proud of what you've done here. It's these small steps that are going to really make a big difference over time. You guys have a big job to do. Previous generations have sort of made a mess of things, right? So unfortunately, it's falling on you and those of us who are still around to make a big difference here. So I did want to put a little plug in here. Mass Marine Educators host the High School Marine Science Symposium in March of every year. Lately it's been at Northeastern University. So I encourage any educators and students here to kind of look for that. You can talk to me afterwards. And also NMEA will be hosting the 2024 annual meeting of the National Marine Educators Association in Boston That's a kind of a big deal. We probably have 350 to 400 marine science educators come to that. We'd love to have Ship 5 participate. I know you guys have been involved with NMEA for a few years now. It's really great work. So consider getting involved with that. And also, if you're part of an organization up here in Gloucester, we'll probably be doing a field trip up here. You can get involved with what we're doing. So I'm really happy to be here. I live down in Swampscott, and one of my favorite things is to take 127 and wind my way up here. It's just a beautiful drive, beautiful city, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. Our next speaker is the Sea Scouts representative for Territory 11, Skipper Gary Doherty of Sea Scout Ship 131. Graduated Baltimore, Maryland Polytech High School in engineering and then moved on to earn his Master's of Science and PhD in Mechanical Bioengineering from Polytech University, New York University.
Gloucester Mayor Greg Verga, distinguished guests and citizens all. First off, you're obviously all citizens. I can't believe the recycling you're doing, the garbage collection you're doing. Everybody is out here working on an actual project. It's just very impressive. And it basically, it's interesting to see how Ship 5, first off, congratulations. You made real this refillable water station. And it's a meaningful way to assist others to clean up the environment. What started for you 5 years ago as an interest in cleaning an area of trash yielded tens of thousands of water bottles. And with this interest came the thought how to help your fellow citizens remember their empty water bottles they left behind. Think of all those orphans that were left there. What are they going to do? This thought process came up with the idea of this water station. The water station became real when I heard the story of how to eliminate the issue we were having dumping the spoiled fish out in the ocean. And the idea came up, let's turn it into fertilizer. That's an ingenious idea and doing an amazing positive thing for society. So the water station became real when money was raised, permissions were requested and granted, and when it was installed. This 5-year process of young adult Sea Scouts together assisting others, gathering data, thinking of what help can be done, and installing a water station that Ship 5 successfully implemented. It's an amazing thing. Gloucester Mayor Greg Verga admonition in his inaugural speech states, "Effect the changes the city of Gloucester so desperately needs and summon its powerful potential to be an even better place to live," is reflected in Ship 5's refillable water bottle station in Gloucester Harbor. I could say the same, for your conversion of the things, what you're doing also. You got a lot to build with here.
Sure do.
They're doing great things. You got a great mayor. And so taking Ship 5's refillable water station process over their 5 years answers the question, when is something real? Well, your garbage, definitely is real, I'll tell you. And you got a fertilizer, and you're picking up what you're doing. And making the refillable water bottle station, that's real. The answer to making something real is focus on a mission, then create, build, and install a product. You're basically all dealing with product creation. This is basically one of the founding aspects of the United States, which is an amazing thing. Ship 5 made the water station real. There's a thing called the William I. Koch Sea Scout Organization, the corporation, and it's going through the same process as Ship 5 assisting others. The COVID impact on the cancellation of the biannual International Sea Scout Regatta in 2020 and 2022, the idea of a new product has been created. It's called the 2022 Koch National Invitational Sailboat Regatta, to be held July 15th to the 17th this year at MIT's Sailing Pavilion, where a few boats from Ship 5 will participate in. If you want to go, you can watch the regatta. I don't know what the COVID restrictions are, but you can watch the regatta on the Charles at the MIT Sailing Pavilion. When the William I. Koch Sea Scout Organization National Invitational Regatta was created, it basically was made real. SHIPS 5's simple process was create an interest, take one step forward, take positive action, help fellow citizens, an idea on how to help appears, a new product is developed. The active discussion between Gloucester Ship 5 and William I. Koch Sea Scout Organization took place in winter of 2021 and early 2022 on the newly created BSA Sea Scout product, potentially being hosted in Gloucester Harbor. We in the BSA Territory 11 and in Sea Scouts want to congratulate the young adults in Sea Scouts creating an idea, the design, making real a design to do good, with a permanent product for the public to use. Congratulations and thank you from future people filling their water bottles. It is commendable in the time of COVID coronavirus, young adults making an idea real. In this time of COVID coronavirus, we would like to make a special call out to Hillary Fry and her exemplary support of young adult competitive sailboat racing in high school and supporting the Sea Scout Ship 5. Using the term of joy since the time of at least Shakespeare in the year 1573, huzzah! Huzzah! Please join me with giving Hillary Fry a round of applause. Thank you, Ship 5, and the City of Gloucester, Mayor Greg Berga.
I would like to introduce our charter representative, Todd Tierney. He went to Cortland High School in Fredericksburg, and he went to Virginia Tech with a degree in industrial engineering.
Go Hokie!
Yep. So, hey, so I want to, I'm here as the representative of the Elks. The Elks Lodge 892 is the charter organization sponsoring the Sea Scouts. And for us, it's an honor to be able to help you guys do what you do. So I've been part of Scouts in the past in different troops here and in my youth as an Eagle Scout. And the value of what Scouts do and the experience you get out of it is just amazing. So the work that you guys have done, the Sea Scout Troop Ship 5 has done, has really shown the impact you can have on the community, the impact you can have on the environment, and the impact that doing these experiences now will enable you to learn and build and create more in the future too. So you're a bunch of teenagers who have been able to make an impact on the environment by starting on the cleanup that you did at each of the public landings in Gloucester. And then you basically said, hey, what can we do to prevent this rather than just be reactive and pick it up? So you came up with the idea for the water station. You worked with the harbor master. You worked with the organizations to get a sponsorship for it. You worked with being able to get it installed and get it in place here. And it's a great thing that you're being able to launch it and have it available to the public. So you've seen a need, you've worked to get that need filled, and then you've been able to put a solution to that and then continue working with different organizations in the area. So, the Elks recognizes the value of Sea Scouts and what you guys have done, and it also wants to help support the development of youth in the Gloucester area. So you guys have been able to do an incredible amount. We appreciate it, and we're very proud to support and be part of the effort for the Sea Scouts in Gloucester. So So congratulations on the work you guys have done.
Thank you to everyone who came out to speak and everyone who came to listen. Please walk around, enjoy the tables. We'll be cutting the ribbon for our refillable water station around 12. So, got about a half hour.
I'm Chris. I'm the drone program manager at Ocean Alliance. We're a whale research nonprofit based out of the paint manufactory in Gloucester, Massachusetts. We have programs using drones for whale research and collecting data on whales. One of the things we do is we have a drone called Snotbot, and we collect the exhaled breath condensate, or the blow from a whale. And from that, we can learn about DNA and hormones and microbiomes and try to study the health of the whale. And then the other thing we do is we deploy these data tags on whales, which collect all sorts of behavioral data and acoustics, and we can deploy them from a drone using the system we developed, and it sticks on the whale. So this is ballistic gel that simulates whale blubber. So this collects orientation and acceleration and depth and acoustics. So from the data you collect from this, you can run it through a computer simulation thing, and it rebuilds what the whale's doing underwater and how it's feeding and what it's feeding on and how they're interacting with other whales.
So would you put it on the whale when it's out of the water?
Yeah. So normally what they do is they're chasing the whale down in a small boat, and they have this on the end of a really long pole, and they're just waiting for the whale to come up, and they slap it on the back. But the whale hates that, and the whole point of this is to record the whale's behavior. But when you're chasing it down and stressing it out, and it's trying to get away from you, all that data you're collecting is irrelevant because you're changing the whale's behavior. So we're the first group to deploy it from a drone, and the drone's 20 feet above the whale, so the whale doesn't even know it's there. And a lot of the times, we were sticking these on blue whales, which are the largest animals on the planet, and when something just slaps on their back, they don't really care. Or they quickly will just go back to their normal behavior, whatever they're doing, whether they're feeding or traveling or something. So this is a much less invasive and safer and easier way to get tags on whales.
So will you track them for years? Or?
No, these stay on for 1 to 2 days at the most. Whale skin actually grows really, really quickly. So they do have tags that are what's called subdermal tags, but they're a lot more invasive. They can cause infections and stuff, so people don't like to use those. But they're not so much interested on tracking the whales. They're interested on daily behaviors. Most of the time you want to stay on for 24 hours, so you get a day-night cycle and see, when the whales are sleeping or what they're doing at night. So you can program them to have timed releases. So maybe, if it's a nice weather day today, but tomorrow it's going to be bad weather and you can't go out to recover it, you might just want to stick it on for a couple hours so it can pop off, and then you can go find it before the end of the day.
How deep do what did you say, blue whales?
Yeah.
How deep do they go?
So this was actually on a blue whale in Mexico earlier this year. And I remember they were doing 150 meters, so 300 up to 500 feet deep. But they're diving to get food, so it's really wherever the food is. And throughout the day, these patches of krill will migrate from the surface to down deep. So later in the day, when the sun goes down, they come closer to the surface. And then at the end of the day, it'll be at the surface. So that's when you see whales doing surface feeding. So even here with humpbacks, if you want to see them really active at the surface, go out at sunrise or sunset, But then normally in the middle of the day, they're doing deeper diving, so they might be doing bubble net feeding or some other kind of behavior, or feeding on the bottom.
And how do you retrieve that? I mean,
So once it pops off, it floats, and this is a dummy tag, but normally they have an antenna, and it just sends out a beep like once every second. So you'll be on the boat, a pair of headphones and an antenna, and you're just following the beep and looking for this little thing bobbing in the water somewhere.
Can you just do the thing where you drop it? It's really funny.
You want to drop it?
Yes, it's funny.
You want to drop it?
Oh, not me. No. I already did it like 20 times.
So this will float, this pops off, and we'll just float so we can recover it, stick another tag on, go tag another whale.
And doesn't it like tighten when it gets deeper? And like it releases with
Yeah, so a lot of people think, suction cups aren't strong enough, but this will lift this whole block. And then when the whale dives, the water pressure will actually, seat it even further.
So you have a visual on the bottom, so you know exactly what
Yeah, so this has a camera that hangs under, so we see what the drone sees. So we'll launch it from a boat, but we can go tag a whale that's a mile away. So yeah, we have the drone's eye view the whole time. So even when the whale's underwater, usually you can see it, so you can follow it and be above it, just waiting for it to come up to the surface. You can be in the right place at the right time.
So if this goes down, can you track this guy too?
This sinks pretty quickly, but
Oh, it sinks?
yeah. But yeah, we've never lost a drone in the water, or if we have, it's been operator error, and we usually recover them because we'll have a GPS location if it went down somewhere. But yeah, these are very robust.
What is this gray stuff?
This is an MRI 3D printed of a whale blowhole. So a group did a necropsy on a dead whale and cut out its blowhole and scanned it, and we 3D printed it. We were actually doing a study with drones carrying thermal cameras trying to measure the body temperature of whales by looking down their blowhole. So this was used to, just to see what's going on, and actually to demonstrate that. So this whale has two blowholes. One is open and one is closed. And there are these nasal plugs where when the blowhole's open, the plug opens up, and when it's closed, it closes. And it's probably to prevent like water from getting in, because that happens a lot when bad weather or something. Some water will go down, and they can close these nasal plugs so that they're not like inhaling water into their lungs. But yeah, that's what that was for, just a visual on whale blowhole function.
Cool. So are you a marine biologist? Or?
I'm an engineer. So I'm the engineer on the team. Everyone else in the group is a biologist.
So where did you go to school around here? These guys are all starting to look at colleges.
Yeah, I went to Lehigh, Pennsylvania, engineering school.
So how did you end up here?
I met a guy who knew the CEO, and they were starting their drone program a couple years ago, 5 years ago. And yeah, someone offered me to fly drones over whales, and it was kind of hard to say no to that. A lot of oceanography and marine biologists, a lot of them are using drones now for all sorts of different things. So even if you are a biologist, a lot of them are now trying to learn how to use drones or partnering with people that are using drones, because there's all sorts of different ways that can be used to collect data.
I like what you
increases
got going
your
on. It's all
germination. You'll get like 100% germination pretty much. It's amazing.
Put up a
And they'll
sign.
come up a lot faster.
We have our Neptune's harvest because they've helped us so much.
Jump. Plants fertilized later in life will never catch up to ones that were started right from seed. Yep.
Because you can do 2 photos, right? People swipe.
Yep, just till they swell. So a small seed you might soak 20 minutes. A big seed, like a pumpkin seed or something, you might have to soak for all day or something. Soak the seed.
What are you doing? I'm
Well,
taking a picture, and then if do you like an Instagram tag?
A cup of water.
Like a tag?
Yes. And
Yeah, so I'll tag your Instagram
Right.
so people can get exposure.
Great.
It's not a recording.
You did a Facebook post.
It's a photo, Mom.
Like, everyone's gonna have to like reach their hands in and touch my hand, and then we're just gonna look like we're doing it as one.
If I touch your close,
We are Legion.
We are one. Yeah, as long as we're in the picture.
you guys can't be in front of it.
All right, group photo.
Everybody.
Someone else get down.
Can I touch the picture? I'm tall, so.
Tessa left.
She laughed. Yes, she had to go.
Okay, hold on. 1.
Here, get in.
I can't. Yeah, there we go. If you can't see us, we can't see you. You're fine at the end. Okay, everybody look. 1, 2, 3. Act like you like each other. Say Sea Scouts. Sea Scouts. I'm in everyone's way. I'm gonna coach now. Okay, scooch in. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Smile.
What a handsome group.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys are awesome.
Alright. Now what?
Water station down.
Good.
Yeah.
Can we cut it now?
Can we do a cut?
No, we are
you wanna get
overall
in
pretty
line?
handsome group, but I feel like the handsomeness level is brought down by the front row.
All right.
Literally says you.
You guys have
Literally says you.
Hey, Josh,
Alright, ready?
Back up so they can see it. Everyone touch my hand.
Go.
Oh, he's getting you so bad.
Water works.
It works.
Do we know that it does drain into the pool?
Come on, you guys, fill it up.
Who's gonna test it?
That is nice.
Is it still bubbly? In your cup? In your cup.
No, it's clear.
Okay, perfect.
That's just air.
Yeah.
Aerated. It
Yeah.
gets cloudy.
That's
It was a freshie. You got the first
No,
one.
it just gives it that effect.
Jackson.
Well, it's not
It's like
well,
prompt.
it
I
almost
gotta
turns
press
it
the button.
like a white tint.
I was like,
Yeah,
going,
that's
yeah,
what,
you know,
yeah, that's what mine looked like. I was a little bit.
You can leave the paper in if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Listen, I'm not afraid.
Exactly.
I'm not afraid.